Jay here for Stretford Paddock. This is the Brew, and joining me, we've got two absolute titans of the Manchester United fan base. We've got Mr. Dave Pritt, of course.
Hello.
You all right?
Yeah, good.
It's getting better, the old November
It's terrible,
thing.
and it's nearly going now.
Well, you finally look like you've got a proper task there. Can we go on a sing-along, Dave? Can we see Dave there? There you go.
Terrible,
you look like someone from the 80s there. You do.
I like that, though.
Yeah, you do. You remind me
of
of someone, very, very an 80s vibe. And also, making his debut in the studio is our very own Mr. DJ Stylus.
Yeah.
Stylus, you've done the predictions for us, haven't you? With
Yes.
our videos from
Yeah, I've done a couple.
Always full of beans, which you like to see. This is the first time you've been to our studio on the Brew as well. Thanks for coming on.
No, thanks for having me, man. Thank you.
You've got your brew there.
I've
What
got
you
my
want
brew
there?
with T1 sugar.
T1 sugar. You don't have hot drinks, do you? Absolute freak. Honestly.
It's cold beer,
What's
that's
up,
all
yeah?
I have.
Why, how can you be Mancunian and not have a brew now and again? We'll talk about it.
He said he's like a kid, he just drinks Coke.
Just drinks Coke. Is that what you drink?
Coca-Cola and beer.
You may be wondering where Stephen Howson is, because he's not here, is he? Because he's in, he's somewhere else. We've got a little message about that.
Go on, go. Jay, I just want to let you know Stephen is coming on Friday. It's with me. It's more important to be with me than you. So don't be jealous. I just want to share.
I can't believe that. He sold me out for Patrice Evra.
A friend of the show, Patrice
For
Evra.
a friend of the channel, Patrice Evra. Obviously, Steve, over in Qatar, I think he was in Dubai when he did that with Patrice, so he's living his best life. We chatted to him, I chatted to him this morning, so that's going to go out tomorrow morning. Obviously, he's going to be at the England game as well. We're going to be back later on for the England game with a watch-along as well, so make sure you are checking that out. We've got this sort of, we've got this sort of... There feels like there's a real positivity at the minute. The Glazers finally look like they're going, although I say that cautiously. We've got a decent squad with some good players. Okay, yeah, we might need a bit of strengthening, but we've got the likes of Casemiro, Anthony, Rashford's back to his best, Bruno's playing well, Eriksen, Martinez. It's a good squad, yeah? Needs a bit of improving. And we've got a manager who I, for one, think he's a very good manager and believe in. Dave, we'll start with you. Is it reasons to be cheerful or what?
Could be. It really could be.
could be.
Potentially.
All it is, it's about the sale of the club, and it's whether it's on their terms. If it does go through and go, I don't know, Radcliffe and his lot, or these rumours Apple or Saudis want to buy. It's all about having the money then to invest in the club, because listen, you got to pay them a lot, however much they need to let the club go, and then stadium needs doing up massively. Carrington needs improving. We need players like what City have done. Everyone slagged them off. They're just there for the money. They're just buying this and that, but it works, and they've won things. And you got to be jealous of them. You look at them now. You look at their training ground, which I've visited quite a few times. Amazing place. Their stadium, great. Yeah, I know it was built before they even wanted it, but we could have a stadium like that. Not saying a new one, but just done up and looks good, so when people visit it, you're like, Jesus Christ, this is the home of one of the best teams in the world, instead of going, it's pretty shit here, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. I think you look at, the stadium's a big bugbear of mine. It has been for a while. What would you make of what's gone on over the last 72 hours, Stylus? Because it's like we've gone from, sort of not hearing anything about what's going to happen with the Glazers to this story coming out they're ready to sell, to a statement coming out. And also, let's not forget as well, Ronaldo's gone. So it's all been happening.
It's been a bit crazy, hasn't it, really? It's all came out of nowhere. I feel like the Ronaldo thing was brewing, but then obviously the sale to come out of the woodwork. I'm kind of the same as Dave. I'm feeling optimistic, but how long is it really going to take for something like this to really go through? Like, they're selling clubs, but then there's clubs of United stature and where we're at, these kind of things. I feel like it's just going to take longer than people realise to kind of iron these things out, and whether a sale is going to go through in the next... I'm seeing people saying, will it be done by the end of the season and stuff like that. It's just not realistic, is it? But I feel optimistic, man. Like you say, the word's out there. They're definitely trying to find a way out the back door. The fact that they're just putting little bits out to the media about potentially trying to find other buyers and other people to get involved. I feel like that's their little... just a little message out there to let people know we want to try other options. we want to try and move forward and get away from the club possibly, but whether someone can come in and bring that money to the table, it's...
Well, look, you say that, right, and I hear you, because like you was mentioning about the stadium, whoever comes in, they're not just going to have to, invest in the team, they're going to have to build the stadium up as well.
It's not just that, though. It's like, what's the price that would they willing to sell? They say not, well, billions in it, what they want to sell it for. So
was it 5 billion, was it, or something?
You've got to buy the club. Before you even start thinking of the stadium, then you've got the, 600, 700 million worth of debt. You got to put money in there. Then before you start investing in things, you've got to know the culture of the club. And it's not just going to be here's money to sort it out. They need to know what's going on. So I'm a bit optimistic about it going through straight away. I think it'll take a couple of years at least. And it needs the right person in charge, or the people who are buying it. If they are foreign investors, they need someone to put someone in charge who knows the club and knows what they're going to need to do with it and keep everyone happy, because that's the main thing. If it all goes wrong, they don't want more protests, because they know what United fans will do. They'll protest here and everywhere, break into the ground like they've done in the past. They won't want that. So it's.
You know what I mean? We don't mess about as United fans. Not advocating any of that, but it is what it is. Just on that though, we want someone who's going to come in and invest. We want them to have a lot of money. Obviously, we don't want another Glazer situation where you have all this debt and everything. But one thing that worries me is whoever comes in might start trying to, or might want to bring in their own manager. Yeah. Because we've seen that with new owners. They do it all the time, don't they? They take over, a club, and almost immediately one of the first things they want to do is, right, I'm going to change the manager. But I think Eric Ten Hag, we've got a manager here now who knows what he's doing and who can get the best out of these players and who can go toe-to-toe eventually with the creme de la creme. And I think it'd be a massive mistake to get rid of him.
Oh, 100%. I feel like the process has already started in regards to building the team and, like you say, putting the infrastructure in behind the scenes, and I don't know, man, a style of play and bringing the squad, the harmony together. I feel like the process is already there. So I feel like if an owner comes in and clears the manager out, that will be the worst possible thing that can happen at the club.
Surely,
I would say.
As well, it won't just be new owners. The board will more or less remain the same. They're not going to kick off the likes of Ferguson and all the others who've been there for years. Mm-hmm. They're going to back the manager. They've backed him recently with the Ronaldo situation. The moment he criticised the manager, he was like, yes, see you later. Listen, Ronaldo will always be one of my favourite players I've seen live, but the moment you criticise the manager, it's like, yeah, you've got to go. And the board backed him with that. So...
But I hear you, but they could do an Elon Musk and just go in there and go, right, board's gone. I'm CEO. I'm doing that.
It won't work.
Because you don't know, for example, let's say a sovereign state comes in, for example. They might, I don't want that, but they might go, right, okay, yeah, we're going to keep some of the board or whatever, but ultimately the final decision on things like the manager is ours. You can't say to someone who's just spent £7 billion for a product, they can't decide who the manager is.
The thing is, it is a product, but it's like you say, you're talking about Twitter there. Twitter's a thing where what people use. People don't love it. They don't have tattoos on it and make sure, listen, this is my kid, and the first app he's going to download is Twitter. No one cares. But with a football club, people love it.
So you don't think a new owner could get rid of the manager?
Not straight away. I think they'd have to set it up with the board. They'd have to be really careful, because if new owners come in...
They could do what Todd Boehly did, don't forget. What Todd Boehly did, all he did was he waited until Tuchel had a couple of bad results and then he got rid of him.
But the thing is, they know that we don't like our owners. If a new owner comes in and don't do it right, there'll be people protesting that. You've got to do it correct.
Yeah, the repercussions will be crazy.
We don't want Glazers 2.0. We want Manchester United back.
I hope you're right. I just don't know. I think a new owner, and I don't want to be negative, because I've wanted rid of the Glazers since they arrived. Since before they arrived, didn't want them here. And 17 years of just utter shambolicness. But I do worry, because I do think that we've seen it so many clubs with good managers as well. Good managers who know what they're doing. A new owner comes in, and you're right, it might not be straight away, it might not be immediate, but if Eric Ten Hag, let's say, for example, a new owner come in the summer, right? Let's say Eric Ten Hag had been here on a season or whatever. We lost those first 2 games and then sacked him. Now, that's ridiculous, but they'd have probably got away with it, because people go, right, okay. Do you know what I mean? To the point where they're not protesting. I think it takes a lot to get people protesting. Do you know what I mean? I think now,
with us though, managers-wise, when people have been on bad runs, it's always been a case of, because we've had longevity with Ferguson, is that people, even though he's like, yeah, he probably should be sacked, but I don't want him sacked.
Yeah.
And people last longer than what they do at this club because I think the fans do have an impact on that.
100%.
It's not till the whole fan base turns that they get sacked.
Yeah.
Like Moyes was once they waited till the Champions League, but at that point everyone wanted him gone. He lasted way longer.
Nah,
than
there's
Moyes did.
listen.
Moyes lasted longer, and how long was his run?
I know, mate. Moyes was honestly,
Exception.
I can't get over the Moyes era. Still scarred by that. Listen, I think I'd be very surprised if they did. Do you know what I mean? I think one thing I am sort of, I'm buzzing the Glazers are going and I'm excited, but you've just got to wait and see as well who comes in because now we're in this sort of situation, aren't we? We've got this waiting game. I was talking to Kieran Maguire, who was chatting to us yesterday, and he was saying, you look at Chelsea, they had 200 bids. 200 offers.
That was a great video, by the way.
Thank you. 200 offers to come in. Now, you think Manchester United are far bigger than Chelsea ever will be. You'd expect a lot of offers. I know it's more money, but there will be a lot of consortiums and that sort of stuff. So we're going to have to wait and see, aren't we, to see who comes in. Are you sort of on the Jim Radcliffe fan bus? Because that seems to be the popular one. Jim Radcliffe is the one that most people want.
From what we've heard so far is potentially yes, because like I said to you, he knows the football club. He's been a fan of it. He knows the football world. He's a businessman that's made a lot of money. He knows where to invest and where to put things into places to make money. Whereas the rest of us seem to think that's all it is about making money. Like the Apple coming in. Who is Apple? You know, I mean, you just see the
what is Apple?
Am I the only one that got excited over that?
Apple.
I'm just seeing like the new Apple Stadium, like,
the I Stadium
tech through the roof.
That's the thing. It's like, what can we do to make money off this? Whereas I want someone who can think, what can I do to make money and win trophies?
Yeah.
I want someone.
Do you think that really no, I hear you. Because you know what FSG did, right? FSG are almost the same as the Glazers in a way. The only thing different was the debt side of things. But FSG took over Liverpool not because John W. Henry had pictures of bloody Mark Lawrenson on his wall or
Ian Rush.
See him on the telly before,
yeah.
Mate. That was like pulling teeth. Did you watch the game before?
Richard, I've not seen no games today.
Oh, bro, it was on.
By the way, just gonna call him out. Josh upstairs from Wales fan.
Yeah.
Didn't know who Ian Rush was.
Didn't know who Ian Rush was.
What?
He's a Wales fan.
What?
Seriously?
How old's Josh?
Like 12. To be fair, though, when did Ian Rush stop playing? About mid-90s?
Long time ago.
I think it was even before that. Must have been.
No, because he played in the 96 Cup final, didn't he? Came on for Newcastle. Yeah. So, but he was on his way out by then. Well, that's a bit weird, though, isn't it? Because we didn't see Bobby Charlton play, but you know who he is.
Yeah, but how can you not know who Ian Rush is, man? That's mad.
I don't even think it was the Wales game I saw him on. I know it must have been. No, you're right. Yeah, it was like pulling teeth. It was so painful watching him. He was so boring. Apple coming in for United. You're into that, then. You want the eye.
Do you know what it is? Yeah, I just feel like Apple are positioned with so much money, man. And I feel like they wouldn't. See Apple's brand, they like looking after people. They like tapping into their customer base. They like making sure everything runs and is kind of smooth. I feel like they would come into Old Trafford and not disturb too much.
Yeah.
But their input and their financial weight is just ridiculous, man. I don't know. I just think Apple as a brand, it's never been done before, innit? Whether they're going to buy football clubs, it remains to be seen. It'll be a very interesting proposition,
they
man.
They bought Beats, didn't they?
Beats is an excellent. Yeah.
They don't tend to buy.
It's a very Californian company. It's just like
it is.
Here we go, Mr. Brexit.
Yeah, but is this where the?
Tell you what you want. You want British owners with British values. I
feel like
Jim Ratcliffe in some Failsworth. That's what you want.
No, but what do they really know about a British football club? Or even European football club? If you heard that they were going to take over Barcelona as well, you'd be thinking, they're going to be ruined like they're never going to be fixed.
Well, that's my point. I was getting to about the FSG. They weren't like Liverpool fans, and obviously the Scousers don't really like them anymore. But they understood the fact that if you have success on the pitch, you will make more money. They got that. The Glazers are so fucking thick.
They're just stupid
never got
guys, man.
that.
Yeah.
They thought,
They didn't need to because they're making money.
No, but you make more. Liverpool didn't win a title for 30 years. They still made money. And pains me to say it was still a very well supported club in terms of the revenue and marketing and all that. Once they started winning things, it went stratospheric. It's like United now, right? United since 2013, we're still making money. Not at the rate we were. Kieran Maguire was saying it not last time he was on, the time before. Look at the growth, it's flatlined. Now, if we'd have been winning titles in the last 5 or 6 years, been to Champions League finals, won Champions
Imagine the money that the club could be making, man.
the Glazers would have made more money.
From their point of view as well, and it's one thing that Woodward did, which you can't knock him for it. He brought money to that club.
No, he did.
Give me the chance, I will.
No, but he could pull money out of thin air. Some Mexican crisp company no one's ever heard of. Yeah, if you want to give us millions, come along and listen. They earned money and they made money off it. So,
I mean, United selling things for Manchester United is not difficult though. Like
I know, but he
and also, people go about Woodward. The growth pre-Glazers was bigger. It was a bigger growth than when the Glazers arrived. The growth was still going in that direction, but it wasn't as big as it was, I think, from 99 to 2004, or just before they came in. And the trouble I have with Woodward is I shouldn't give him credit for anything, because he's the root of all this. It was him that brokered the deal with the Glazers. It was him that was the financial advisor on it. That's why they gave him this responsibility. And okay, I've heard that argument. You're not alone, Dave. People saying he brought him money, but then he was put in charge of things that were well beyond his capabilities. So him succeeding David Gill. Even Ronaldo said it in that interview, and I know Ronaldo said a lot of rubbish in that interview, but he said he did say that, like, losing David Gill was pretty big.
I don't think people realised how important that guy was behind this. Well, obviously the real fans know, but outside looking in, like, Gill was imperative, man. It's
right, listen, there's loads of people in the comments. I know I've not got to them, sorry, so I will get them. Make sure you hit the like button. First of all, I've got this message for you.
How does a free case of beer sound this Christmas? Sorry for shouting, but the World Cup is here, and Beer 52 are bringing you a case of 8 delicious craft beers for the meagre postage fee of £5.95. That's all you got to pay, and you get a free case of beer. All you have to do is go to beer52.com. It says it there, /brew, to get our very special deal, and you can be part of the biggest beer club in the world. What a sound that is. Each month, they send out a curated, perfectly exciting box of beers from around the world to their members, including, look at this West Coast IPA. I'll have a sip. Don't get better than that. Showcasing independent breweries from across the world. There is no better way to enjoy beer during the World Cup. Again, all you have to do is go to that link that's in the description, beer52.com/brew, to get a free case of 8 beers. You also get extra snacks. You also get Ferment magazine, which tells you all about the latest in the beer world. If you order now, you can get it in time for Christmas. It is the perfect Christmas gift. And if you don't like dark beers, you can go for the light-only case. Do you know what I mean? It's customizable. Beer 52 will sort you out. And if you're not satisfied after all of that, which I don't know how you couldn't be, you can simply pause or cancel at any time. It really is that simple. All you have to do is go to beer52.com/brew. That is beer52.com/brew to get your free case of beers. Check them out.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Jay Frascone in the super chat says, I happen to think Apple buying United is a long shot, but before you dismiss it entirely, keep in mind that Disney owned an NHL hockey team once, so large US corporate investment is not unprecedented. Yeah, we got to say it to that.
He's not. He's not impressed.
They owned the hockey team.
They bought the Ducks.
The Mickey Mouse.
Oh, is that what it was?
They bought the Ducks. Moved to Anaheim. Made a film called The Mighty Ducks, which
is that real? Is that based on a true story?
Yeah.
Which is a great film. What have the Ducks done?
That's true.
What have the Ducks ever done for us, eh? Now you're turning on the Ducks.
They made 2, maybe 2.5 good films, because the third one. But,
it's like an all-time classic, the first one.
Mighty Ducks,
But they moved them.
Flying V.
To Anaheim, where Disney was, and they've not really been that successful, even though there's a lot of money being put in.
American sports team, don't they do that all the time, like move?
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to move the franchise to the other side of the country. Yeah. I was like, no worries. Like, imagine if United, the owners went, right, we're moving the
like Wimbledon.
Yeah, they remember that, didn't it? MK Dons and that, right? We're moving to Milton Keynes, which is, it's a nightmare driving around Milton Keynes. We'll get in some of the super chats as well, some of the chats as well. Heaven Soul says, the issue with Apple is they tried to establish themselves as premium. So if United aren't winning, they'll not want that tarnishing the Apple premium brand. I don't see it working. Ocean Man says, Amazon and United guarantee match made in heaven. Amazon viewership would go sky high if they made a behind-the-scenes series of United life. What do you reckon? Amazon?
That's the only way they could do it, because United won't let anyone but MUTV put the content out, so...
Is it all or nothing and all that? Is that Amazon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see any of that?
Amazon ones. Yeah, I've watched most of them now. I
They
think.
did one with Arsenal, didn't they? And
Arsenal.
City and Spurs. They might want to do one with a big club. That could be something.
They're super enjoyable to watch, man. Like, I feel like the
I
United,
watched a bit of one of
But
them.
they're never going to do one for us, are they?
that's $5 billion to do it. Is it
Yeah. Your Amazon subscription might go up to about 400 quid a day.
I can see why people want Ratcliffe is like obviously the option because he's a United fan. He gets it, and I feel like he will just come in and overlook it and not like maneuver too much. Like he gets it, man. He's obviously the safer option for us, but
Plus, he's invested in a lot in British sports as well.
Yeah.
Jim Ratcliffe.
Yeah.
Cycling and all that,
He's
isn't it?
cycling. Well, even like the Formula One, he's like you see him on the side of the Mercedes. I know it's Mercedes German, but they are a British team. He is supporting, British.
did he try to buy?
sports.
Did he try Chelsea before?
Yeah, what happened with the Chelsea thing though was because we spoke to Kieran Maguire about that. He put the bid in. I think it was late, and it was shorter, it was smaller than other bids. And I mean, he might not have known that, but I think he'd have been advised that's not going to be enough. And there's this sort of school of thought that maybe that was him sort of testing the waters and letting everyone know he was up for buying a football club, letting the Glazers know he was up for buying a football club, because it didn't feel like that bid had any chance of
Not just that,
success.
it wasn't long after where the interview was, I thought you're a United fan. He goes, yeah, I would have bought United if they were for sale.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he did.
Manchester United's not for sale. That's what he said. So that made people think, okay, well, if United were for sale, because I think he's worth like 20 billion, isn't he, Jim
He's the
Ratcliffe?
richest.
Yeah.
I think
He's the
rich
richest
Britain.
person from Failsworth
Is it?
in the last 10 years, I think.
Is that from his fracking?
He's one of only 12 billionaires who have come from Failsworth.
Amazing. He's the best one.
He's probably not going to purchase it on his own anyway, man. I feel like he'll get his little crew together, and do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think people are going to come and just buy this as a one-time sale.
I love the way you're saying that. He'll get his little crew together.
Yeah,
Like,
man.
do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
bro,
man. It's gonna
what
be
you
get
up
the
to?
boys
Do you
in,
want-
bro.
do you want to
Slap
come
me.
and old United with me and that? Yeah.
The Failsworth millionaires Facebook.
Yeah, it's popping off in the group chat here now, Jim's gone and bought United.
I'm so hooked,
Get in on
man.
it. Yeah, it's like only fools and horses with a consortium. Gonna buy some jewellery. No, I hear you, because we had Mark Ogden on the channel a few months ago. I think it was about 2 months ago, and he was saying that if you look at Chelsea, Todd Burley didn't buy Chelsea on his own. It's a consortium. He's the head of that consortium. The likelihood is you will get a group that will buy it, whether that's Jim Ratcliffe and others. There was talk, wasn't there, of David Beckham being head of a consortium.
Don't like the sound of that either.
What was that?
I love this guy's facial reactions.
Was that your moustache
All I'm gonna
tickling
say.
you? Was that you screwing up your face at Sir David of Beckham?
He put one of the worst managers in history in charge of his club.
I can't even
Phil
argue with
Neville.
that. To be
one of-
fair.
Phil Neville at
Yeah.
Miami.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
If he's going to do that, he's just going to put his mate in charge.
Is he though?
Would he do that to United though,
I'm not
man?
being funny. Have you seen the women's England team since he got
Since
sacked?
the grown-ups took over.
Yeah, they've unbeaten.
They've won everything.
They've unbeaten, won everything. He was in
But I
charge of a
heard,
better
right,
team. Lost
I heard that he got that job as a joke. Like, someone was messing about and said, he get Phil Neville in. And they went, oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
It's not a bad shout.
Yeah, let's
No,
do
I was
that.
joking,
And
but
they're like, no, don't do that. And they're like, yeah, why not? Everyone knows who he is. He'll be good.
Plus, he gave me shit once at Carrington.
Oh, that's what it is. That's what it is. It's personal.
It wasn't even
Do
me.
you know what? I
Wasn't
knew
even-
it.
I got a personal gripe
I
then.
knew it. I knew it. Who did
What-
Phil or
what
Phil or
even-
David Beckham?
Phil.
Oh, why? What did he give you shit for?
Someone was tweeting about his son playing for the under-18s.
Is his son any good? This isn't MUTV. We can say what we want here.
He plays for.
What's his son
he
any
plays for
good?
Inter Miami.
What's his name? Harvey.
Yeah, and
Harvey Neville. I've heard about it.
and
I've heard
he
about it.
literally
Sorry,
got on my shoulder going, "Have you been writing this about my son?" I was like, "No." And he goes, "Who's this guy? Where is he? Where is he?"
Oh, Jesus.
What? Phil Neville said that to you?
Yeah.
Phil Neville fully put it on you.
Right, hang on a minute. I want to get this right. You're at a game, right?
Yeah.
Someone, not you. Tell me the truth. Was it you?
No,
Was it one of your burner accounts?
no.
Right. Someone has tweeted about Phil Neville's son not being very good at football.
Yeah.
So Phil Neville's reaction to that is start gripping up people and asking them if it's them.
Yeah.
So he literally grabs you and goes, is
He
this
literally
you?
grabbed the back of it and was like, "Is it?"
Yeah.
And he showed me his phone. Is it a shoe?
Bloody
I
hell.
was like, "No."
Even like Ronaldo.
And he was like, "Do you know who it is?" No.
Do you know who it is?
I didn't know who
What's
it
he on
was.
about?
Gonna come and
I
hunt
didn't
him
know who it was.
down.
He was a guy from Ireland.
Oh, was it?
You dare slander my
Why is
son.
it, wow, that's. Did the guy give an indication that he knew you, or was?
No.
That's so bizarre.
Yeah, that is
he did
bizarre.
that. So that's based on that. That's why you.
And
don't
he's a
want,
terrible Lioness manager.
he was a pretty bad Matt Linus manager. Wanted to be fair. Nah,
And he
yeah.
claims to be from the class of 92 when he's from the class of 95.
Don't get me started on that.
Flipping heck. It's
Do you know
got
what?
a
I've
list.
seen this thing once, right? See people saying, oh, we need a statue of the class of 92 at Old Trafford. I'm like, nah, man, come on. come on, we cannot be having, like, no disrespect, he's played a lot of games for United, won a lot of trophies, but you can't be having a statue of Phil Neville outside Old Trafford when you haven't got one of Brian Robson and Roy Keane and players, that actually were amazing. Like, come on, let's just get realistic here for a second.
Plus, like, Chris Casper should be there rather than Phil Neville because he was part of the 92 team.
You seek help. Seriously. What about you, Stylist? Are you team David Beckham? I think it's David Beckham, Lewis Hamilton.
Oh.
I just feel like it's going to take something like that to purchase
Dream
us.
11.
It's going to take something so big to purchase us, man. Like, the club's so big. Like, I'm not against Beckham either, to be honest, if it's the right group of people. I'm not, as long as they don't get too involved in the club and let us build what is going on right now and not interrupt like the process. I'm here for it, man. I just feel, I'm keeping my options open. I obviously don't want anyone like the Glazers coming in again. I'm kind of against an American ownership now because of that. I feel like I'm scarred.
This is it, because you got to, like, I understand your feelings, but we've got to remember as well, I think there's a new rule in there because of the Chelsea thing, like the Glazer rule, that someone can't come in to your club unless they've got the money to buy it. Because the Glazers didn't have the money, they just leveraged, they did a leveraged buyout, didn't they, where they took out loans. It is clever. It's horrible, but it's clever. But I think now I might be wrong, so get involved in the chat. Tina Telefson Tatoka says, Jay, what happened to the 50 plus? Yeah, that was an idea. I mean, the 50 plus is something I think you have in Germany, is it? Where the fans own 50?
I can't see it ever happening for a Premier League team.
I can't.
No, I can't. It's a great sentiment. It sounds
too much
good.
money to be made, and if you invest in that much money to buy the club, you're not going to then say, here's 50% of it to the fans.
No, I mean, yeah, it's something that has happened in Germany. I don't know. I think you need some sort of government action, regulation coming in.
In a perfect world, yeah, it'd be great, but I can't see it ever happening over here.
No. Luca Brazzi says, only new statue should be Jimmy Murphy. That's it. I agree with that. There is a new statue of him.
There is one going up, yeah.
There should have been one of him in 1958.
I've said it for years about that.
Yeah.
I mean...
I'm a bit surprised when they put the Busby one up many years ago. They didn't do one of him then. I get it, because Busby was the manager, but he was the assistant to Busby throughout it. Obviously, after Munich, he was the one that kept us going when Busby was in hospital.
Saved the club.
Saved the club, responsible for bringing through youngsters like Bobby Charlton, Duncan Edwards, all them lot. Just an absolute, titan of
Took Wales to the World Cup.
Took Wales to the World Cup, yeah. And probably going to still be the most successful Wales manager ever, judging on what's been going on at this World Cup. So... yeah, I think it's quite late in it that you had to wait till 2022 when he retired, in 1973 or whatever. No, 1970, 69.
Yeah, that was 69. A slight violation, that really.
69, whatever it was, anyway. Sort of 50 years or however long it's been. Yeah, it's a bit disappointing, but good to see that. But I agree with that. I think if we are going to have a statue, it's, Jimmy Murphy all the way. So you're not into the old American owners, sort of worries you a little bit. I mean... sports washing has come up again, and there was this story, I think Joe had it in his news, that like the Saudis obviously own Newcastle, so the government or whatever, whatever you want to call it, the regime is saying, we're not going to buy another club, we can't, but private investors could, which is obviously a bit different. Do you have any feelings about that if it was, say, the Qataris or whoever came in? And when I say the Qataris, I don't just mean people from Qatar. I mean, if it was a government, if it was a state.
The state.
I don't have an issue with someone from a country buying United as a private person.
Privately, I've got no problem as long as he, like I say, put the right person in charge to run the club.
Yep.
But a state-owned club, someone does feel right about that. It's like imagine if the royal family just box. You know what? We're buying Aston Villa and we're going to it'd be the weirdest thing ever. But it's
because Prince Charles is a big. Is it
William?
William's
that's why I said
an Aston Villa fan, isn't he?
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah.
He's always down the Villa and he's a whole and kicking off all the time.
But it seems it's just a bit odd. It's just because they've got a load of money. It's still a country that's...
It just doesn't sit right, does it, man? Like, morally, it just doesn't feel right when countries are purchasing football clubs, man. I fully agree. I think a private sale could potentially work. But, yeah, as for actual states and countries making purchases, it's a bit...
I mean, this is where it feels... I think Joe was making his point the other night on the live. It feels like we're going towards that route where sooner or later you're just going to have these sort of states... almost playing chess against each other with different clubs. You know
treating
what I mean?
it like toys, man.
Yeah, it's like you look at PSG, you look at Manchester City. It's only a matter of time before Newcastle are challenging at the very top, and it's just going to be like, okay, who's got the owner with or the state with the biggest amount of money? And I can understand. Like I always say this about fans and stuff. Like I understand fans just want to go and watch football. I'm not saying you have to take a stance on it. Everyone's different. I'd probably be against a state-owned club. That'd probably be enough for me to say that I'm not going to bother anymore going. But
would it stop you supporting the club like that? Yeah. Would it
if
stop you going
we
to
were
the games?
sports washing, yeah, I think like if we were just literally like, I'm not just listen. I want to make sure you make the difference. If someone from the Middle East buys Manchester United, I ain't got a problem with that any more than I've got a problem if someone from Eccles buys Manchester United. You know what I mean? It doesn't make any difference to me. What I'm saying is, if our club is state-owned, to distract or to give good PR to a state that's committing human rights abuses, then I can't in good conscience sit here and slag off City and Newcastle and PSG for doing that, and then when it's my own club, go, oh, well, that's different.
Yeah, true.
Now I get to watch Neymar and Mbappe, it's all right. I'd be a bit like, was this what we've become? I know people might be different, and I get it, and I always say that if you just want to go and watch a football match, I get that. You know what I mean? Football's meant to be a hobby, it's meant to be enjoyable. You don't always have to take a stand on everything. Just for me, I don't know, it feel a little bit
well, that's the issue. It's supposed to be a hobby and that, but with all these countries taking over, it's becoming political, which it shouldn't be really.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird, isn't it? Because there's no perfect owner out there, is there?
No.
It's not like you're going to get this owner who's going to come in, he's a diehard Red, he's got loads of dough, he just wants to see United winning things again. I mean, I know some people are trying to pay Jim Ratcliffe like this, but I feel
like Jim might be the only exception that probably feels like that. Like,
it feels a bit more like that because he's
not stupid though, is he?
He is a businessman.
He's a businessman.
I don't see him wasting £7 billion quid of his money or whatever he'll take.
Yeah, if we were near the bottom of or League One or something, he wouldn't be buying us because he's a United fan. It's because listen, there's a way to make some money here.
I just want to get into it, right? Because we were talking about how it feels positive. The Glazers are going, and it is. Let's just enjoy the moment as well. Let's not forget that. I don't want to be too negative moving forward about who's going to come in. Like, looks like Glazers are going. We've got a manager that we've all just been chatting about how much we like him and everything. Ronnie's gone. Yeah. Where does that leave the squad? Because I feel pretty positive about the squad, mate.
Yeah.
Especially like, you know, when you're watching the World Cup and that, it's like Brazil the other night, and you think Casemiro plays for Manchester United.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? It's mad, isn't it? I actually felt that way.
Do you know what I mean?
There he is.
I mean, there was a game I was at recently in midfield at one point with Casemiro, McTominay, and Fred. It was like the dream midfield.
I think that is officially the greatest ever midfield.
I bet McTominay can't believe it, can he? Like,
you know what?
The Mourinho, and now he's in with Casemiro.
Do you remember when Casemiro arrived, and like McTominay was on fire, wasn't it? And it was like, I think it was the Arsenal game, everyone thought Casemiro was going to start, and he didn't. McTominay started and played really well.
The belter.
And everyone's like, you know what, I can understand why McTominay's keeping him out the side. And you think, how's it, you know what I mean? You never
Yeah, that's mad. That's mad. He's going back to his voice, like keeping Cassie out of the squad.
Yeah, like, you know, McTominay had a bit of a stinker last season, I thought, anyway. And then it's like, Casemiro is one of the best midfielders on the planet.
No McSauce, is he?
Yeah, McSauce is keeping him out.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But do you feel positive about it? Styles, actually, do you feel positive about this squad we've got?
I feel positive, man. I feel like the whole Ronaldo thing is just airlifted. Like, I feel like the squad will come back after the World Cup, hopefully in one piece. Obviously, so many people on internationals and that, and they'll be able to just get stuck in now, man. The Ronaldo distraction's gone. Ten Hag is kind of figuring out his team. We're obviously improving. There's going to be ups and downs still, but I feel more positive than I felt since Fergie, I would say.
Yeah,
100%, man.
Do you know what? I mean, it makes laugh when people criticise United fans. Going, you're moaning, you spent all that money, and you look at, you know, you're finishing 4th or 5th and 6th, whatever, and you're moaning about it. You want to try supporting any other club almost in the world, but you think where we were. Yeah, we are spoiled as United fans. You know, I grew up watching Mint football, winning trophies every year. Do you know what I mean? And then when the Glazers came in, we were still doing that, and they've more or less ended all that with their stupidity and greediness.
My first game was
so we've every right
the
to expect
Boxing Day
it.
before the Premier League started. So the last year of Division 1 or...
How old were you then?
5.
5. That was your first game.
Pathetic. QPR, remember?
Pathetic.
You know,
you YouTubers, you're the same. Oh, I'm going to start supporting United now.
But then it was just all... and then it was just win-win-win, and I just thought that's what football was.
Exactly. You obviously knew.
Is that how you became a Red? Is that the story? Yeah.
No, I want to watch Neil Webb.
He knew we were going to win it. So was it New Year's Day? Did you say the 4-1 against QPR?
Yeah, we got...
Dennis Bailey's hat-trick.
That was my first game.
Was it?
Wow.
Yeah.
What was yours, Jake?
And do you know what, right? My first game was about the same time because I was a Johnny come lately like you. I didn't go till I was 5. And it was Southampton, but I don't really remember it. I remember my first game I remember properly was against the Scousers in the Rumbelows Cup, which is what the Carabao Cup used to be called about 12 names back a bit before. And I remember we beat the Scousers 3-1. Mark Hughes scored an absolute worldie. And yeah, that is still in my mind, the best atmosphere I've ever heard at Old Trafford. And it's in the League Cup as well.
Mad.
Do you know what I mean? Now it'd be like, who cares? But it was mint. No, listen, I think we've got a good squad. I think the Ronaldo thing, I'll get to that in a minute. I don't think it's going to hurt us that much though. But someone, I think it was Fat Thor, and that's their name, not the name I've given him, said, Jay, could there be a possibility the Glazers are playing with us via the sale to divert from the scrutiny they are receiving from the interview? I will say this, and this is my opinion, I'll get to ask you guys what you think. I think the timing of the statement was definitely to divert, not from the interview, but from the Ronaldo leaving. I don't think it's a coincidence that 4 hours after that, Ronaldo got sacked, basically, we have this statement. That seems like too much of a concern. I think they thought, right, now let's make the statement because all the news is negative. You know, regardless of what you think of Ronaldo, he's the biggest player in the world, he's leaving the club, it's probably going to affect all this share price and all this other drama. Let's release a statement now. But I think the plan was already in place. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think maybe they may be thinking of it for a while. You got to remember, before this, people have been calling for the heads, going around Florida looking for him and asking him what's going on with the club. Maybe in their eyes they've gone, we don't want to sell at the moment, but as an option, let's just see what's happening. And it's got to the point now where one of the most famous footballers of all time has slagged him off, and they're thinking, well, if we cash in now, what can we get? You got to remember, people think it's just the three brothers. There's about 15, 20 of them who all need a payout, who's part of the club. So they want the right deal.
Don't you know what it's like when he releases dividends? They find these people, these Glazers, I've never even heard of.
I'd be pulling them out of the woodwork.
Yeah, you got Trevor Glazer, you got Shaniqua Glazer, you got, do you know what I mean, Mohamed Glazer. Like, who are all these Glazers all of a sudden that I've never heard of?
You cut the head off one, then three appear, and then they just carry on.
Like, honestly, like, you got Rob, Dave, Bob. Do you know what I mean?
Do you reckon if I changed my name to Glazer by default?
If you changed your name to Glazer and sent Old Trafford, you'd probably give you a cheque with a load of money on it. Like, honestly, there's just loads of the Glazers always seem to pop up. Never, ever hear from them until, you know, it's time for the dividends, and all of a sudden they're taking 30 million quid or whatever it is, or a loan or a payment for being an executive, and you think, who are these people? YouTube says Gary Glazer. Yeah, do you know what I mean? It is a feel like, doesn't it? Gary Glazer, yeah, he's just come and collect his cheque.
Chief.
I feel like they've been weighing it up for a minute, man, and obviously the whole Ronaldo thing has just fast-tracked it, and like you say, it's not a coincidence, is it? Timing, literally, what, a day later, and it's leaking, so... bro, listen, get them guys out there as quick as possible. That's all I can say. Like, people are saying it's because Ronaldo's obviously come out saying words, but it's not as if we've not been protesting for over 10 years anyway. I feel like this has just accelerated it, but I feel like behind the scenes they're probably a little bit fed up, not financially, but is it worth the aggro? They've got enough money. Do they really need it? Like, maybe
you don't know how they're thinking. If they can get 4 billion, 5 billion, if
cash in.
They own American. They've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and things like that. Mm-hmm. They can think, we'll invest.
They obviously seem to give a shit about that as well. They do like interviews about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't follow American football at all, but I understand that Tom Brady is a big name in there. And got him,
but when they won the thing, Tom Brady,
is that what it's called?
The trophy, I don't know what it's
the Tom Brady shield. I think it's called the Charity Shield.
Didn't lift it. The Glazers lifted it.
What?
You not seen it?
No.
Yeah, they took the trophy and lifted it.
Wow. What, like at the actual trophy, like you've won the league type thing? Yeah. Wow. And they were, mate, imagine he did that Old Trafford in 2013.
Imagine winning the Champions League and the Glazers come out.
Hey.
Way out the way, Fergie.
Move Fergie. I don't see you buying any of these players. Move. That's crazy.
I did not know that.
Oh my God. I'm amazed there wasn't like, well, I know it's different over there, isn't it?
Amazing.
I can't believe that has happened. So Ronaldo going, it's like, okay, maybe the timing or something, whatever, but we've still got a good squad. We certainly need at least one player, don't we, in the January? Yep. Do you think that, and again, I know we're speculating here, by all means, get involved in the comments. Do you think that we will get that player in January, even with everything that's going on?
I think so, because even without this Ronaldo interview, I think we'd have to look at a striker or someone to replace him, because although he said he didn't, he got plenty of opportunities this season and not been good enough, really, has he? And he's blaming other people, but you got to put it down to him. He's had the opportunities. He's had clear-cut opportunities and missed them. He's just not been the player he was. And so I think Ten Hag's probably looking at him going, yeah, I need someone else. That's why he's had him on the bench. If he was thinking, he's the one for the future, he'll be playing him starting him each week. So yeah, the club are probably looking at the moment, but the issue is this World Cup in the winter, because now every player is going to be jacked up in price if they do well. Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. Maybe we'll probably wait till the summer, because if Rashford carries on, I mean, what did he have? 3 touches and score the other day?
Do you know what? Right, that was
clinical.
Min that.
Yeah,
honestly.
if he gets a bit of confidence from this World Cup and then comes back and starts banging them in, it's like a new striker again. And we might just think, oh, you know what, we'll wait till the
He
summer.
looked really good when he came on against Iran, didn't he?
It looks like a different player at the minute, man. I feel like the confidence is back in there. Like, hopefully, like you say, he carries
It's
this
like
to the
people
World
say,
Cup.
oh, he's done it, but he's not. We always know what Rashford's capable of. It's like Martial, even when he's bad, you know what he's capable of. It's just a run of form and a bit of confidence. When you get it back, these players can score goals.
Now, definitely, you know, I've always said this about Marcus Rashford. His ceiling's very, very high. I think, you know, he's had a bit of a raw deal, Marcus, because it's like he's been moved all around. Like, you know, 1 minute he's on the left, then he's in the middle, then he's on the right. He's played under what, 5, 6 different managers?
Yeah, he's had a
Is it?
turbulent
Or
time,
5
hasn't he?
different managers? Like, do you know what I mean? He played under 3 last season. So he's had that as well. He's had injuries. We know he's had a lot of injuries. He's, you know, we remember against Liverpool where he was hobbling around the pitch because we made 3 subs, and he's literally putting his body on the line all the time. Sometimes maybe he needs protecting from himself as well when he's playing for injury. So he's had all this going on. He missed that penalty against Italy in the Euros, got a lot of stick for it, came back, didn't have a good time of it at all last season. But under Ten Hag, he's looked rejuvenated, and he's one of the reasons why when you see the likes of Marcus Rashford returning to form or playing arguably better than he's ever played, when you see Martial, despite his injury problems, looking like more the player we used to see when he first arrived, it gives you that bit of a bit of hope, doesn't it?
You don't know, though, whether it's as well having the right manager as well and the confidence from that manager, because, to be fair, he did well under Ollie. It was Radnick where he didn't play well and he looked like he was coming out. And then he started this season, obviously he's been injured, but he's been all right, I thought. It's not been the Marcus we know, but he's been all right. And you just don't know whether it's the manager who he's playing under that's making him the way he is.
I feel like we've seen glimpses of just what we could get out of Marcus. Do you know what I mean? Like, if
we
he
didn't
can,
see, we didn't see that at all under Radnick.
No,
it was like, who's this player? Where we got him from?
He was awful.
Yeah.
And and I love I know he was, and I love Marcus Rashford. He's my favourite player. But I remember feeling bad for him. You know what I mean? Like, he's at a great game, he's getting pelters, not pelters, but people go, oh. And he looked like he lost.
A lot of people turned their back on Rashford at one point.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the hardcore fans kind of still backed him, but from what I'm seeing on socials, a lot of people kind of lost the way with him. But
they're eating the fucking words now, aren't they?
His confidence
It makes me
is
laugh
just
at as
in the
well,
mud. It
because
happens,
people
man.
slag off a player for ages. And then when he starts playing well, go, oh yeah, I always believed in him.
Yeah,
Well, you
do you
didn't
know what
back
I'm
him when he
saying?
was struggling, did you?
Got
You didn't
to keep
get behind
receipts.
him. You just hammered him. Do you know what I mean? It's a nonsense. Just quickly before we wrap up as well, talk about the World Cup. What do you make of Bruno? He's having a good one, isn't he? A couple of assists the other day.
Yeah, he looked pretty sharp, man. I just don't want Portugal to win. I love Bruno, but I'm not having it now with Ronaldo.
Have you thought out because of Ronaldo? Is it
A little bit. Obviously, it's a bit sour still at the minute. I just got to let it blow over. I'm sure I'll forgive him and everything will be fine.
I feel like I've got to put a disclaimer in here, right? Because Stylish, you're entitled to your opinion, but we know Diogo Dalot is a friend of the channel. And I just want to say that not all of us,
Dalot, I love you, bro.
not all of us want Portugal to fail, yeah? Some of us want Portugal to win, even over England, Diogo.
I mean, if they win,
What is going on here?
I mean, if Ronaldo gets suspended in the semi-final and they win, that'll be great.
That's the ideal scenario, yeah.
What
Ronaldo,
happens then if we get Portugal and Ronaldo scores the winner, sends us home? Can we even get Portugal? We can't we?
No, I think we're in the
It's not
same.
possible, is
No,
it?
well, we could get him. Yeah, we could get him.
What part of the jaw?
Oh, but I don't like. I think it's the quarters or
I ain't
something.
got a clue.
That would be the ultimate sucker punch, man.
Nah, do you know what? I was hearing as well before we went on. It's Molasses on the bench, is it, for Holland? Yeah, Molasses not starting for Holland. That's a bit disappointing, isn't it?
Martinez on the bench for
That didn't last long though, did it?
Oh,
You should have started him conceding goals, and he comes on and he starts bossing the game.
Did Dalot start for Portugal as well? He didn't, did he?
No. Cancelo had a stinker as well. I know he
He
plays
did?
on the left, but yeah, he was terrible.
City players don't look the same when you take them out the City squad, do you? De Bruyne was having a stinky one as well for
That's what I
Belgium.
mean, man. It's all about Manchester United. That's it. Do you know what I mean? United players absolutely flying. It's all because of Eric Ten Hag. That's all I'm going to say to you. Stylist, where can people find you?
Instagram, Stylo, STXYLO, Twitter, same way. All socials, all Stylo, man, STXYLO. I'm on there.
There you
talking
go.
about music and United. That's
We'll
pretty
tag
much it.
you. We should have tagged you in the tweet, I think, anyway. So go and check out Stylist on all your socials. Where can people find you?
Wherever.
Wherever.
What's this,
In the
man?
pub.
In the pub.
In the pub.
If you want to find me, I'm on social media. Yeah.
That's the most unenthusiastic call to action ever. We
nothing
better
to
go.
plug.
Look, stand by. Look, there's a little there. Oh, there you go. It's gone off. There's my cue. Big thanks to our sponsors as well. Big thanks to Patrice Evra for sending us a little message. Don't forget to check these guys out. And if you've not done already, make sure you are liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. I've been Jay. That's been Stylus. That's been Dave Pritt. This has been the Brew. Thanks for watching.